Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your latest Chelsea news. If you've missed out on the live stream earlier today, literally about an hour and a half ago, do check that out. Really good, lovely conversations with Alhambra, who's a regular viewer of the channel. So do check that particular stream out. He was there for probably an hour, nearly about an hour worth of that live stream. And then after that, I continued on as well, talking about the most topical conversations in the Chelsea community at the moment, especially in regards to Nkunku versus Jackson, Madueke versus Neto, and Sancho versus Mudryk. So do check that out if you're keen. That was earlier today. Make sure you give that a watch and let me know in the comment section what you think about some of the conversations that took place over there. Now let's get tuned in on the latest Chelsea news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get cracking on. We're going to react on what Enzo Maresca said in the press conference. He had a lot of things to comment. Big up to Saraya, I believe that's her name, Saraya Shiraz. Big up to her for asking some really top questions in the press conference. All the questions that the fan base want to know in regards to the midfield three, Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, Caicedo. Is there a possible combination for all three to start? So we'll talk about that. There's conversations in regards to Cole Palmer. He's getting heavily marked. What's going to happen now? We're going to change our system a little bit to see if we can still open up a little bit of freedom for Cole Palmer, or does he need to fine-tune his game a little bit, knowing that he's going to be man-marked quite heavily from now on? And there's a lot more that happened in the press conference. We're going to touch on that. As I said, big up to Saraya for asking those questions. There's some information from Pedro Neto. He's come up with some quotes that we're going to touch base on, and Mudryk as well, some news on Mudryk. So let's get cracking on straight away. Let's start from here. Let's see what Enzo Maresca had to say over here. It goes, Enzo Maresca is asked about the highlight of his time at Chelsea so far. That I can see clearly, game after game, the team is improving. All right, let's see what he is saying.
What I can see clearly that being with them every day, it's something that you can see, you can smell. My feeling has been always game after game, seeing even in pre-season where we faced teams that they were already together many years. So for us it was very difficult. But even in that moment, I see that the team was improving. And I still see the same, and this is the most important thing.
Wonderful.
Brilliant. As a journalist said right at the end, wonderful. Look, yes, we can all see as a fan base that the team is improving. We can all see that the team is maturing. Now, off the back of dropping points against Nottingham Forest. By the way, Nottingham Forest just won about an hour ago. Let's see where we are. Apparently, we are 7th. Give me 1 second. I want to have a look at the table. Yeah, we are 7th, ladies and gentlemen. Look, not that long ago, we were 4th, and it looked like it was quite comfortable. Everyone was getting giddy in the fan base, and now all of a sudden, a couple of games, drop points against Nottingham Forest, dropping points against Liverpool, and we are 7th. So, yes, we are improving. Yes, it looks like we are maturing. It is very important we get back into winning ways, which we did against Panathinaikos yesterday in the Conference League, but we need to win against Newcastle in the Premier League and ensure that we're not drifting away. This league is ruthless, ladies and gentlemen. Have a couple of poor results, before you know it, you're talking to the 8th, 9th, and 10th team in the Premier League. So very, very important that we get back into winning ways. It is true that we are improving. All right, let's have a look at this particular video where Saraya Shiraz asking Enzo Maresca about a potential midfield three of Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo Fernandez. Let's go.
But do you think under Enzo Maresca we'll ever see a Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo Fernandez midfield three? Or do you think it wouldn't work?
No, for sure can happen, no doubt. I think the first game against City, we play with all of them. The main thing is that everything we do is to have defensive balance. So sometimes you need to, the decision that we take is also because we think how we can have.
But
it's very important that Enzo Maresca, he's highlighted that. We've already tried that. Of course, we did against Manchester City. We've had the midfield trio. But he goes on to say that it all matters about the defensive balance. Look, One thing that I've said in recent times that I want Enzo Maresca to get right is defensively, we need to be a lot tighter. We concede too many goals, which then puts immense pressure on the attack to outscore the opposition. And we're not always going to outscore, even though our attack has been very good, but we're not always going to outscore. The issue with the midfield three, look, every now and then maybe we might try that. And it gives you a lot more control in midfield when you have the likes of Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Romeo Lavia. Caicedo and Romeo Lavia are robust, athletic. They're going to win you duels. Enzo Fernandez, playmaker from deep. Fantastic. It all sounds nice and dandy. But in recent times, we've seen our fullbacks have been inverting. So if we're going to play a midfield three, you're going to have to sacrifice an attacker. So you're not going to be able to play with 4 attackers up front. You're going to have to sacrifice one. And that's, I don't know whether we want to be taking an attacker away just to accommodate another midfielder. And our midfielders don't really necessarily score goals. So goals got to come from somewhere. The other thing is, if you play with a midfield three, you're not going to essentially invert with your fullbacks. You want your fullbacks to bomb forward and be part of the attack and help out with the attack. So that's something that I don't mind. I'm happy to entertain that. We've got fullbacks that can definitely do that. Malo Gusto can definitely do that. Cucurella can definitely do that. But I think Cucurella's biggest strength is probably inverting. Renato Viga's probably biggest strength is probably inverting as well. So yeah, in theory, it sounds like it's a fantastic situation to have all 3 midfielders, but honestly, I feel like it would somewhat disadvantage us by having all 3, because if we need one of them to score goals then, and I don't think any of our midfielders right now is showing that capability. I think players like Caicedo and Romeo Lavia can do that. Even Enzo Fernandez has shown in previous times, but we just haven't seen that as yet. I would rather go with the 2 midfielders and then have one of the fullbacks invert and pick and choose when you want to overlap. So for me at the moment, the best balance in midfield in terms of athleticism, in terms of winning duels, winning the second ball, is Caicedo and Romeo Lavia combination. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section, what you think is the best in midfield. Shiraz asking Enzo Maresca about Cole Palmer being man-marked this season. Let's listen in on this.
Besides not relying solely on Cole Palmer, because that's not really sustainable going forward. The world has opened their eyes to his talent. It's clear that this season he's being man-marked by 2-3 players consistently. How do you coach a player with his talent to sort of adapt his game or use other players around him to free up more space?
Yeah, no, first of all, we use him also, we use that weapon from the opposite team, that if they want to mark man-to-man call, probably we need to find a different solution. But also I think is the next step forward for Cole to make use to play with that kind of situation. He has to learn. Sometimes you can see that he get a little bit frustrated because it's not easy to have always 90 minutes, 95 minutes being marked man-to-man. But all that kind of players, that level, they used to be marked men.
When we spoke previously,
Nice. Yeah, look, this is going to turn out to be a pattern. Liverpool has really shown that when you nullify Cole Palmer's game, then it becomes a bit of an issue for us moving forward. Cole Palmer is a big player for us, not just scoring goals, assisting as well. He's got top vision. He intercepts the ball. He reads the game very well, brings others into the game. So, yes, it's a big challenge for Cole Palmer. How do you now play when you are man-marked? This is the next level of your development. We can clearly see that there is a top generational, some would say, even I would say, a generational type of a player there. But now the challenge is, what are you going to do when you get man-marked? Are you going to be able to shrug them off you? Are you going to be able to, deceive them and somewhat, move away from them? It is interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see in the next phase of Cole Palmer's development, and also pose a big question on others as well that are involved in attack. Nicholas Jackson, who heavily links up with Cole Palmer. What are you going to do to ensure that all this attention that Cole Palmer is getting from the opposition, what can you do to take away that pressure away from Cole Palmer? What can Madueke you can do? What can Sancho do? And all the other attackers that we have. Can you guys step up? Can you guys, attract attention from the opposition so that they don't just solely focus on Cole Palmer? Can you guys chip in? Can you guys be going into that next level and pose a threat on the opposition? Right now, it's clear that the opposition are only threatened by Cole Palmer, and they kind of don't seem to rate all the other players that we have. So it will be interesting to see once again, moving forward, how do we handle all of this, knowing that Cole Palmer's game could be nullified? Next up, Siraz asking Enzo Maresca about Chelsea having strong second halves this season.
Chelsea are having very strong second halves. You've only conceded 3 goals in the second halves of your games. When you come out, you win more duels, you score more goals. What are you saying to the boys at half-time? That's making the performance look stronger.
Yeah, as I said, we try to adjust things at half-time, because when you are with the same players and with the same team for 2-3 years, you can adjust things even after 10 minutes during the first half. But when it's a new process, it's very difficult. So you need the half-time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, as I said, and to adjust the things that you have seen that they are not working well during the first half. And this is what we try to do at half-time.
And going back to that sort of...
Do you know what? Honestly, I like this manager a lot, man. I really do. He's really sitting there and educating all of us. The responses are genuine. They're not fluff. It's not like it doesn't make sense. He's literally said, if I've been with the team for 2 to 3 years, then we could potentially make changes within the game in the first half. If we see after the first 10 minutes, after the first 15 minutes, there's some issues, we can make some changes, not necessarily substitutions, but you can send out the message and the team's going to react and they're going to follow those orders. We're not there yet. The chemistry between everyone is still developing. We need the halftime. This is why after the halftime, when the manager sits down with them for 10, 15 minutes during the halftime, can lay those information out and say that, guys, this is where you're going wrong. This is where we need to do better. And then they go in the second half and executes that game plan. Couple of things. First, kudos to the team to be able to listen to Enzo Maresca and execute that game plan in the second half. We have been coming out strong in the second half, 100%. We every time we come out in the second half, we seem to be scoring that early goal, or we seem to, as Serena said, we press better, we win the second balls, which is fantastic. Now, how do we ensure that we are able to carry out the plan from the beginning? Also, how can we still have a bit of an eye on what the manager is trying to do or say in the first half, when things might be a little bit sticky and he's trying to send out the information? How can we get better? So look, the chemistry is still, we are working on, but I love it. I love the fact that Enzo Maresca is so brutally honest about all of these things, and it is great to see. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, let's check out some of this news. First of all, Mykhailo Mudryk on running over to Enzo Maresca after scoring last night. The coach always says to me, go to the second post, and I did that, and that's where I scored. So we shook hands after. This is good. Look, Enzo Maresca post-match came out and said, because someone asked him, how's the development with Mudryk? And he said, look, Mudryk is a bit slower than the others in terms of development, but we're slowly getting there. Me personally, I know a lot of people might look at that and go, oh, he's just publicly called out Mudryk slow, or he called him dumb, this, that, the other. Me personally, I like that honesty. I really do. He's just being very straightforward and saying, look, Mudryk is just taking time, but he's slowly getting there. He is getting there. And that match against Panathinaikos, and albeit Panathinaikos, he played a very good game and he attacked the box, he scored, and that's something that is needed from all our wingers. Our wingers don't score enough goals, and we need to get goals, not just from Jackson and Palmer. We need to get more goals from Madueke, goals from Sancho, goals from Pedro Neto, Nkunku, and this, that, the other. So one of the things Enzo Maresca has been saying is I need the wingers to attack the goals a lot more, and Mudryk has done that. And big up to him for that. Look, it is the one game. I don't want to get too carried away with Mudryk. I need to see a lot of consistency, but maybe Mudryk is slowly starting to understand exactly what he needs to do, slowly starting to understand the footballing IQ side of things. Hopefully it can be like that for a prolonged period of time. Misha was the winner of our player of the match. Misha was the winner of our player of the match award during our 4-1 victory over Panathinaikos, as voted for by supporters on the official Chelsea app, earning 58% share. 58% of the vote. Fantastic. Yeah, he was. He's definitely the man of the match for me. He was definitely the man of the match. He had a fantastic game, goal, 2 assists, and overall was a massive threat to the opposition. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Neto. Some Pedro Neto comments. Pedro Neto has called for the Blues to show their character and get back to winning ways in domestic competition against Newcastle United on Sunday. Very much needed. Love the fact that Pedro Neto is saying that hey guys, we lost against Liverpool. Let's get back in because we are 7th now and drop points against Newcastle. Before you know it, you're 8th, 9th, and you're in level points with Man United. Maybe they might even go ahead. So look, love this from Pedro Neto, just basically giving it a check. Guys, let's wake up. Good victory against Panathinaikos. Let's get another good victory against Newcastle, and let's keep progressing. This is fantastic to see. Pedro Neto, our group is getting better every day, and what we did showed our character, our personality, our hard work mentality. We want to continue with that. Fantastic. Pedro Neto, he comes across a very mature individual. He comes across a very mature player. And look, he would have faced all sorts of hardship in his life with all the injuries that he had to go through at Wolves. We all know what a talented player he is. I think he knows what a talented player he is. The rest of the world knows what a talented player he is. So he knows that as long as he's fit, he's got to continue to compete and he's got to continue to do well for the team because it can be very well taken away. So that's why I think the maturity, you can hear it in his commentary, all the quotes that we've just gone through. It's good to see. I think he'll be fantastic for the group of players that we have. He's going to be able to keep them level grounded and keep them in check. That guys, that's not float around just because we won few games. That doesn't mean that we can be above our head at the moment. And just because we lost as well, let's not just sort of downward spiral now. Let's get back into winning ways. So this is good level of maturity from Pedro Neto. Next up, Pedro Neto, I'm proud of the team and I'm proud of the group. Proud to be part of this group because the boys we are transforming this team into a top team. Look, yes, in the fan base, we can definitely see that the team is better than the past 2 years. Definitely. We can definitely see the maturity in some of the players as well. We can definitely see that the players are understanding the instructions in the game. They've got a game plan. They're able to carry that out. They're able to execute that. So we can see all of that. And now it's just a time of consistency. Yes, every now and then we're going to lose, no problems, but we need to have more wins than dropping points. So we've dropped points against Nottingham Forest. We lost against Liverpool. Now we need to get back into winning form again. We got Newcastle. We need to beat them in the Premier League. But then we got Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. We need to go as far as possible as in the Carabao Cup. So we need to beat them. And then we've got Man United. We must beat Man United. So 3 winnable games coming up, and then a big game against Arsenal. Big games we somehow need to perform. At least at a bare minimum, a draw. We need to beat Arsenal because I'm sick and tired of losing to Arsenal and getting embarrassed by them. But yes, winning form needs to come back. Next up, Joao Felix on the 2 upcoming games versus Newcastle. Everyone has to be ready. Some are going to play the Premier League and some are going to play in the Conference League. We are going for the win every game. Fantastic. Good attitude. Joao Felix, this is all I'm going to say about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, be patient. Keep working hard. Whenever you do get that opportunity to play in the Premier League, perform at the highest level. Make a huge impact so that you can break into the first team. I still think Joao Felix would potentially start for us up front with Cole Palmer just behind him. He could play as a false 9. But right now, his best position is probably where Cole Palmer is playing, and Cole Palmer is too difficult to dislodge. But whenever you get those opportunities in the Conference League, make sure it counts. The fact that he wasn't even used as a substitute last game against Liverpool, those are the scenarios where Joao Felix needs to stay away from because he has to impress. If you don't impress, you're going to be out of sight, out of mind. That's what's going to end up happening. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about. Hope you guys have enjoyed the latest Chelsea news. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Make sure you check out the earlier stream today. Literally about an hour and a half ago, we did the stream. So check that stream out. Very, very interesting conversations that we had in regards to Neto versus Mudryk, Sancho versus Mudryk, and Jackson versus Nkunku. Check that out. And in the comment section, let me know what you think, what you thought about everything we spoke about. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya. Goodbye.